Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, the portal is alight. We've got a 2x chance to gain epics and legendaries from ancient shards. What we're going to do in this video is go through every legendary in the game and give you a rundown, literally like 30 seconds. Do I like them or not? And where would I use them? We've also got literally just like a couple of days left for the May giveaway on the website. So on the homepage, scroll down a touch. Huge competition for May. Get involved. You can get yourself a $100 Google Play Store voucher and some merch and stuff like that. So if you want to get involved in that, couple of days left, literally like 3 days left. Okay, let's get into this. Let's do it. If you're lucky to strike gold, did you strike good or did you strike a dud? Let's go through and start with the Banner Lords. So Lord Champfoot. Honestly, I mean, he can solo Scarab King. He is basically just a defensive unit that can hold his own. He does have a decreased attack AoE, which is a good ability. And he's got a single target decreased defense. Kind of makes him decent for bosses. And he's also got a passive which puts shields out on himself, which is why he's so good against the Scarab King, because he can literally just do this on a one-turn cooldown if you book him. He's actually not fond of reading. So because of that, I mean, if you can just land a book in this passive, it's probably enough. Potentially, you would like to get a cooldown here on his A2 as well, but it's not necessary. But half decent, not quality. I'd say he's like, in my opinion, he's a decent epic. Cethalia, awesome arena champion, great for Spider as well. She has got a full buff removal for the enemy, 100% if you book her out. This is brilliant for the arena because at the same time she boosts your turn meter and pushes their turn meter back. So very cool ability here for the arena. She's also got a single target cleanse and puts block debuffs out, which is good against something like Spider, and a heal on this as well. I think she's the best healer in the game. I think she's got the highest heal in the game. I might be wrong on that, but it's certainly a big one. It's certainly a big boy heal, which can be juicy as well. So yeah, great champion. Underrated. Killian the Lucky, I mean, good for Faction Wars. Got a lot of control. Block active skills, single target. Stun, single target. Decreased speed. Great for Faction Wars to lock down a boss or like a side ad. Chance for this block active skills to go everywhere as well, which you can book up to be a higher chance. He's just a mid-tier legendary that's decent for Faction Wars. Black Knight hits pretty hard. It's got a passive that puts Unkillable on himself, which can be quite annoying to face and useful on your team. But all of that said, mid-tier. Needs a bit of a buff for me. Benaya, great healing, support-based champion. But again, and she actually hits kind of hard as well. If you pushed her attack up, she would hit hard. But is she great? She's average. She's an average legendary, I think. Helior, one of the new big boy legendaries. Actually really like his kit. I've not used him that much personally, but pretty cool passive here. Whenever an ally has got 2 or more debuffs and is attacked, this champion will absorb 30% of the damage from that ally. Pretty nice. Defensive based champion as well. One of the highest base defenses in the game. And then he's also got an AoE hit. Places a shield on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of the damage that he does. And he does hit pretty damn hard with a defense-based champion. I like this guy. I think he's good. Lugan Steadfast, another kind of mid-tier legendary. Can do some good healing off his A1 if you build him high crit rate, high HP, high crit damage. But that's a very stat-heavy build to do. But he does bring an ally protect and increased defense, which is nice. And he does have an AoE block active skills. This is big. 2 turns, basically locking out the enemy's main abilities. Great for wave content like Doom Tower or Faction Wars. Other dungeons and stuff like that, I think he's just average. Septimus, King of the Slap. One of the hardest hitters in the game. If you're running up to stage 20 in dungeons, he is a boss killer. Especially with this A2, he smacks incredibly hard. Super fun champ. Nerfed a bit into the ground because levels 21 to 25 just have got no use for him. Other enemy max HP champions are straight up better. But he does have this also, this like shotgun effect that when he kills someone, he goes again, goes again, goes again. Pump his crit damage up, pump his crit rate up, and let him loose. Can also be very cool in Clan Boss because he's able to extend debuffs. So that's a different kind of use case, but you'd need more of a defensive build for that. Rishtoff the Bold, multi-poison champion. Good to pair with someone like a Xavier who blows poisons up. Good against waves of mobs in someone like Doomtower where you're fighting high-level mobs to do a lot of damage. Got enemy decreased enemy max HP here as well, so can use him against someone like a Scarab boss. Raglin, the best or the quickest cooldown on a revive in the game. 2 turn, full HP, full turn meter, 75% HP on that revive is insane. Like, so good. She's also got a full cleanse and heal, which is great. So yeah, pretty decent. Very decent actually. Really, really fun champ. Baron, hardest hitting ability in the game, but it's behind a big kind of wall. People use Baron mainly in Doomtower now for reducing the number of turns it takes you to have a go. So if he's in retaliation gear and he hits with this A1, he can actually retaliate, kill someone, and then the splash damage can kill everyone else. It can also then unlock Sky Piercer for the next turn. It's kind of fun. It's a bit weird that that's his best use case. He should be absolutely brilliant. That's his best use case. I think he needs a buff. Okay, High Elves. Erin Ariel blows up poisons. Only really strong for that effect. She does have a HP burn that can't be resisted. So if you're struggling with Sorath in Doomtower, she can come in and place your HP burn. But probably her best thing is if you throw her in with a Taurus in waves. Taurus pumps out poison. Put a Bad Hour out there as well. Pumps out poison. She goes in and combusts the poison, blows it up, and everybody takes a rest. She also places poison on an AoE here. This actually hits kind of hard if you build her for damage. So yeah, overall, bit of a niche champion, but not bad. Pixniel needs a buff. One of the worst in the game for me. They released her as a fusion. I didn't do the fusion. I'm glad I didn't. She looks cool. She is chilly, but she's rubbish. Freeze is going on. Too random. Very epic-like ability, this one. A couple of buffs. Very epic-like ability, this one. Veil on an A1. Very epic type ability for this one. She's like an epic. Okay. Shiramani, another freeze. This is more like a proper freeze champion. AoE freeze, 100% chance to land it when booked. This is more like it, and it hits freaking hard as well. This is a champion. Triple hit here with a chance to freeze as well. She could probably get away with really, I mean, if you book out this ability to 100% and don't get, and you get away with not landing books elsewhere, I'd probably leave it at that, but good champion. Silius, so we do have an AoE 75% chance to stun. It's very epic-like ability. We do have an ignore 50% target defense. Very epic-like ability. Honestly, he is in need of a buff. Not good enough. Lysandra, best speed controller in the game. She's got turn meter fill, turn meter decrease, full turn meter depletion here. And she's got this transfer debuffs onto a target. It's kind of fun situationally. Hedgie locks out Alessandra. She A1's back. Guess what, Hedgie? You're locked out. So that's kind of a cool anti-Hedgie type strat there. Speed in all battles as well. Best speed Meister in the game. Huntsman actually got a buff fairly recently. It's now got 100% chance to place decreased defense. That's brilliant. On a crit, you want him to crit because he smacks. And he's got a one-shot A3. Any defensive champion in the arena, if you build him with crit rate and crit damage, he will nuke them into the ground. He just ignores their defense. So that's pretty nice as well. Places increased attack on himself. He's actually good now. He's actually good. He hits hard. He's great for your decreased defense ability. Free turn cooldown if you book him. And he nukes. Yeah, I like him. Good speed as well. Yannicka, great spirit affinity nuker. So she's got the ability here, attacks all enemies, ignores shields. And will remove the shield if this champion's under a veil. She's also got an A2, which puts herself under a veil, hits someone. If she crits, she gets another turn. So you go A2, crit, give yourself a veil, and then A3, I'm going to clean off your shields and nuke you into the ground. She's actually really good. Obviously, in the game, there's a lot of people that use magic-based champions. Yeah, so she kind of came into the meta when people in a higher arena started to throw a load of force affinity defenses in. So she came in as the nuker that could do that. So situationally, depending on where the meta's swinging, is when she comes into the game. But she is a strong hitter. Ethos, King of the Nukes, A3 smack, A2 smack, A1 smack. Awesome against Scarab Boss as well. Just like one of the best nightmare campaign farmers in the game. Just a great campaign farmer as well. Smacks his way through any potion dungeons, stuff like that. Just an absolute beast. Love him. Love him. Bellinor, good champion. Best spot really is probably an unkillable clan boss team where he's laying out the nukes, dropping defense, weakening the clan boss, and then smacking him after that. Outside of clan boss, honestly, I don't see him used a lot. Maybe in Spider as your drop defense and weaken champion before the rest of your damage goes in. Arbiter, the one that we get from missions, great champion. We see her still in most arena offense teams. Increased attack and turn meter fill is just such a great ability. If it all goes sour, she's got a revive and gets an extra turn if she revives people. And it fills turn meter as well. Yeah, just solid. She's also got a chance to reduce a buff layer. Great base speed, great base stats, great arena aura, great champion. Okay, let's move on. Sacred Order. The tower, don't have the tower. Mainly used in unkillable teams or for like cheesy strats to get through content. Like if you're struggling with Doom Tower levels, he can come in and just make you unkillable for a couple of turns with his A3. Also useful in any content really where you're just struggling to get through it. He hits kind of hard, but the main thing is he stops your people taking damage. So block damage ability, one of the best in the game. If you can get him to go early in the arena, block damage, it's like, well, what are you going to do to me? But people like Madame can just strip this off. People like Cethalia can just strip this off. And then everyone's like, oh, now we're all dead. So look, he's okay. As I say, unkillable teams in Clan Boss, great. Outside of that, don't see him used a lot. So Astralon, part of the recent fusion. Great champion. Really good addition for fusions, this one. AoE nuke on his A3. Plus 100% if you book him, chance to place a stun. There's not many champions in the whole game that do this on 100% chance to land. Does make him kind of stat hungry because he needs accuracy. He needs nukage, attack, crit rate, crit damage. He needs to be quick enough to actually get a go. But he's a great nuker stroke support nuker. So, control nuker. We're seeing these coming into the game a bit now. He's a good one. Errol, massive single target damage on his A2 and his A3. There's not many places in the game that he's relevant right now. Extra 30% chance of placing a crit on all of his abilities means you only need to build him to 70% crit rate, which means you can make him nuke even harder. But as I say, there's not many places in the game. He literally slaps someone down. He's like that. King! And then he just gets killed because someone else comes at him after that. So it's just like single target nukes. I mean, there is a place for him in the game, but really they need to block revive for them to be, strong enough to deal with stuff. Abyss, buffed, good since the buff. 100% chance if booked to drop defense. This is a great ability. Absolute slam on her A3. The higher you get into stuff like Doom Tower, the harder this hits as well, which is cool. But yeah, nukage to its max. Great champion. Marta. Used to be like the #1 legendary to pull if we go back a year, probably. Nowadays, not even close. Not even close for me. She's still a great champion. But I don't see her in any endgame teams. Like any. I can't remember the last time I saw someone do a video. It was like, check out this comp. Marta's part of it. So, shows how she's kind of fallen off. But still one of only 3 counter-attack for a full team champion. She brings increased defense as well. She would carry you, by the way, anywhere. If you're like coming up through the game and you pull her, she will carry you through all content. But if you're then looking to push the game to its limits, she will do very little. Decreased defense A1, great clan boss champion, great Fire Knight champion as well. But as I say, not in any end game teams. Might do some work for you in Doom Tower as well, I guess. Look, she's great. What am I saying? She's great anywhere in the game. She's just not in super end game teams. Cupidus pairs amazingly with Venus to get some more damage. He does a lot of damage anyway. Good in Fire Knight with this triple hit here. He nukes waves down for you. Good in the arena as well. Good in a blender team if you want someone to do some smacks. Good base speed, good base attack. Kind of squishy. So Nick, awesome legendary. Hardest hitting HP based champion in the game. And that's a struggle to get that. Smacks with his A2. Great for Spider, throwing up big shields. Great for Doom Tower for throwing up shields as well. Freeze on his A1 that can't be resisted, so he doesn't need accuracy, which is nice. And unkillable here, which means he can be run in unkillable teams for clan boss. Very like multi-use champion. Decide where you want to use him, but definitely use him. Great champ. Venus, very versatile as well. Poisons, AoE, decreased defense, and weaken on a 3-turn cooldown, 100%. For a Void champ, that's awesome. Any champion that's got this is awesome. HP burn, AoE as well. Awesome. And then pairs up with Cupidus here for an average ability, I would say. But yeah, great base stats. A little bit squishy as well, a bit like Cupidus, but can be used in clan boss for unkillable team, clan boss generally. Any content where you want to drop defense, she's bringing weaken as well. Great champ. Cardiel, #1 sexy champion in the game. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It reminds me of what's the film? What's the film where it's like strike a pose? Oh man, what is it? I had to look it up. Zoolander. Reminds me of Zoolander. It's like that. Yeah. To the left. Oh yeah. To the right. Ooh. Anyway, great champion. Great legendary champ. Looks awesome. He has got ally attack, one of the best ally attacks in the game, if not the best. Brings crit rate and crit damage as well, which means you're just gonna only need 70% crit rate for this to smack. He also gets a chance to cool this down by another turn if he kills people or if they kill people. Block revive that can't, revive on death that can't be removed. That's really annoying if you're up against it. So this is cool. Good speed aura as well. Just an all-round sweet ass champion. Can be used just in tons of content. Okay, moving on to the Barbs. Barbarians, not so many here. Ultan, smacks hard. Probably the best decrease attack champion in the game. Good percentage chance to land it. This is for clan boss, I mean. Good percentage chance to land it. Plus, he brings absolute cannons. He's dropping nukes like you wouldn't believe. This guy can smack for an A1, 100k, no problem. How are you feeling about it? I'm feeling good because people are in the ground. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to dish out an A2. A2, another 100k. How are you feeling? Oh, you're dead as well. Outside of clan boss, so his A2 brings increased defense for your clan boss team as well. Outside of clan boss, when he's striking people down with this ability, he's also throwing up shields for your team. And he's got this passive here as well, which is kind of nice for faction wars because this faction lacks a little bit in terms of revives. But revives an ally with 30% HP whenever he kills someone. Resets the cooldown of this champion's skills if he kills an enemy and all allies are alive. So basically, you either get a shield here or you get a reduced... So you get a shield there anyway, but you get a reduced cooldown on this ability if your team are alive. Very cool. Very cool champ. Seal the Drakes. Queen of the free-to-play. Queen of the pay-to-play as well. You get her for free. She's a login champion, and she is damn good. Damn good. She's got AoE stuns. I like her with Fearsome Presence as a mastery so that you get additional chance to stun. But it's a 35% chance anyway, double hit. So 2 lots of 35% chance on the enemy. Doesn't mean 70. Not the way it works. But yeah, put her with Fearsome Presence. It gives you another 5% chance every time you smack. And yeah, she's good. Decrease speed here as well. Give us some accuracy. Give us some speed. Give us some defense. And let her loose. She also got a revive as well. Great champion. She should just be in like most people's Doom Tower teams, for sure. And most people's just like general dungeon content. Kantra was a fusion champion, good as a spider tank, good as a Doom Tower wave champion, bringing your accuracy in all battles here, bringing a ton of debuffs randomly thrown out there, and she can provoke if there's enough debuffs out in the mix. So yeah, strong champion, more of a wave content champion than a boss fighter, I would say, but can be used pretty versatile. So Elder Style got a buff recently, very cool now, very cool. One of the hardest hitting abilities in the game for a single target on this triple hit. Also got a reasonable smack on his A1. He brings Fears on his A3, and then he brings HP Burn and True Fears on his A2, providing there's enough debuffs out there. Yeah, very cool ability. Very cool ability. So it could be your HP Burn champion for Spider. He can be a wave clearer nuker for Doom Tower as well. Valk, this is a counter-attack champion that's actually used. AoE counter, or full team counter-attack, puts a shield out at the same time. The shield is totally based on a defense number and it scales infinitely. So you can get yourself whopping great big shields. If you're not running an unkillable team, she's the next go-to for easy level clan boss. If you see any of the kind of like world record type teams, Valk's in the mix. Yeah, the counter-attack gives you more hits, which gives you more damage, and the shields just keep you alive for a long time. Plus, being a defensive champion, she can just take a smack. So yeah, strong champ. Turvold, he's kind of like underused, I'd say. He's very squishy, but in the right teams, hats off here to Ian K, who always seems to throw him into a clan boss team and make him devastate the enemy. Yeah, he can do some work. I mean, he can hit for 400k twice a hit for this double hit if he's built in the right way with the right amount of buffs. He's an absolute monster, but he's kind of hard to use. So, not for the faint-hearted. You need to get loads of buffs around him. You need to speed tune so that he's working well. He's kind of slow, but let him loose. He smacks people into the ground. Asurga Wallcaller, pretty unique passive here. Basically stealing the damage away from the rest of your champs from crits. Really good for arena this if you want to have a strong defense. Ally Protect as well and Strengthen, two of the best buffs in the game. And then she's got this kind of okay randomized, not random, but fairly unique A2. AoE hits, which actually hits kind of hard for an HP-based champion if you build her that way. And she'll drop attack for attack-based champions. She'll drop defense for defense-based champions. Pretty nice. Block active skills on a decent ability on the A1 as well. All-round units. Yeah, really cool. Yakal needs a buff. He's a bit like Astralon in terms of he is a nuker with control, but doesn't do the damage of an Astralon and doesn't really know what he is. Honestly, he should have just been a support unit, and they shouldn't have given him an axe. They should have given him like a prayer book or something. He looks super sweet. One of the best looking champs in the game, but he's misguided right now. Yeah, needs some work. I mean, if he's the only legendary you've got, you know what? He's probably going to be your best champion still. But yeah, his kit doesn't make really any sense as it is right now. I think that is it. Okay, on to the tribes. Ogryn Tribes. Big Un. Bit of an old school legendary, this one, but still smacks hard. Decent amount of damage. Pretty squishy. AoE hit. AoE hit. AoE hit. He just cracks the whole enemy team every time. And he's got decent debuffs to come alongside it. So, okay chance to stun on his A2. Good chance to drop speed on his A3. I think it's 100% actually. Drop speed on his A3. Also drops turn meter on his A3. So he needs the accuracy to do that stuff. Get his crit rate up, get his crit damage up. He will hit hard and he will control the enemy. Good in a blended comp as well, but you do have to beware. So attacks one enemy, attacks all enemies one time if the first attack is a crit. So in a blender comp, just be aware that he could weak hit. If he weak hits, he doesn't get his AoE off, your blender fails. So just bear that in mind, but good champion. again, one of the few that can do Nightmare Campaign as an attack-based champion and just walk his way through it. War Mother. Ooh, yeah. War Mother. She's had trouble with varicose veins, as you can see. She should go and see someone about that. Maybe get those removed. I've not really looked at the detail of this champ, but damn. It's hideous. It's hideous. You know what? She hits hard. People don't realise it because she's such a meme of a champion, but she smacks really hard with her abilities. And if someone's gone before her and lays bombs as well, she'll blow them up and they will do devastating damage. She's pretty much an arena champion if you want to go off meta and use bombs. If I had her, I would love to try that out because there's another champion, Galka, who's an epic, who hits hard as well, who's a bomb champion. These two together would devastate arena teams for sure. But she's a bit too much of a meme. She's also got an okay decreased attack here for Clan Boss. It will always land. So, you know, if you need a decreased attack, get her in there. Bit squishy. Okay base stats. She's kind of just okay, but just a complete meme in the game. Mainly because bombs are trash. Ignatius. Big, old, hard-hitting defense-based champion. Hard hit on his A3, hard hit on his A2, and a decent hit on his A1. He's all about building up the defense, crit rate, crit damage. If you want to turn him into an HP burn champion for Spider, you can do. Reduce his damage down, get the crit out of his build, and then he's got a debuff that can't be resisted for Spider. So if you're going anywhere from like stage 17 onwards on Spider, HP burn's king, especially 21 to 25. And because it can't be resisted here, he's one of the best. But it's on a long cooldown. It's a 5-turn cooldown. So, you know, compare it to like a Mordecai. I think he's on 4. So, you know, it kind of like ebbs and flows really which one you want to use. But he is absolutely solid for that role. He can also do Nightmare Campaign. No problem. Put him in high crit rate, high crit damage, life still set. Smacks his way through Nightmare Campaign. Gurptuk, actually pretty on meta nowadays. Used to be a meme when he first came out and people fused him. But because he can do AoE block buffs 100% chance to land on all enemies, and at the same time buff the damage of your team, a lot of people are using him as a setup to an arena nuker. So Swift Parry's quite prominent now in the arena. He puts block buffs out. Swift Parry doesn't proc. Can't do because they're blocking that buff. So he's kind of nice to set up your nuke. He's also nice as a setup just for a high damage comp in something like Spider. Throw him out, poisons you, and enables you to get your damage away. He's got a cleanse as well. Actually, he's actually kind of a good champion now. When he first came out, it was trash. Now I think he's pretty damn good. Shamrock. Never, ever been in the meta. Was a fusion at one point. Never been in the meta. Good base stats. You can't argue with that. All good. He's actually got some good buffs as well. Increased defense, increased speed. It's just a bit too random. Double hit here. Chance to remove a buff from the target. Decreased speed on all enemies. Decreased turn meter as well. Fills turn meter of allies. Like, his kit's good. All of these things I'm telling you about are good. I guess he doesn't really bring any hits alongside it. A lot of people doing this type of stuff are either hitting as well, or, you know, they've got something like block debuffs, which is a stronger buff to go out there. I just feel like he's still missing something, and he's close to being really good. Jokol the Gaunt was a fusion, pretty average. He's one of a few champions that can do increased attack and defense on the same ability, so he's buffing everybody's damage apart from HP-based champions. He's got some shieldage going on. I just feel like he's in need of a buff. Gergo, awesome arena champion. AoE, freeze, 100% chance to land if you book it, and he is a void. Double hit here, places an extra hit if someone's frozen. Same hit thing here, extra hit if someone's frozen. And he's got a passive that if he takes a hit, then he's got a chance to freeze him as well. Awesome arena champion just to remove buffs at the same time as freezing. So it's like, Chris, how are your shields doing? Oh, by the way, they're gone and you're all frozen. See you later. Basically, at that point, everyone's dead. Okay, moving on. Lizardmen then. Lizardman, Draco, sweet-ass champion this one. AoE drop, defense, and weaken. Massive poison hits. Massive smack on his A1. What can I say? You can play with this guy anywhere. Clan Boss, one of the best. Dragon, one of the best. Setting up Fire Knight, one of the best. Setting up Ice Golem, one of the best. Just all-rounder. I'd say the place that he's played least is Arena, because he doesn't do anything like cleaning off debuffs and stuff like that. But still, if you're like mid to... Probably even if you're into Gold 4, he might still be in your team. Roxam. I don't have him. On the face of it, he looks like he's cool. So AoE ability here. Chance to place, decrease defense and weaken. Okay. While not under Veil or Perfect Veil, he attacks one enemy instead of all enemies. Yeah. Chance to place this debuff. So from what I understand, he does his A3 as a priority first before he's got a Veil on, and therefore he doesn't do it to a full team. He does it just to one champion. Just AI needs fixing, really. Does have good buffs. Does have... he's got cool abilities. And he's also the hardest hitting drop defense and weaken champion. But from what I understand, his AI is just a bit funky. Fushan, like this champion. Speed Aura, big one as well. Bit like oh no, sorry, wrong ability. Bit like a Seal A2 here. So dropping out the stuns. 35% chance to land at each hit. He hits hard as well. Pump his crit up, his crit damage up, and his attack up, and he will nuke. Underrated. Cool for Doom Tower. Cool for wave content. Cool for Fire Knight as well. Chances to get extra hits here. I've seen him do like quad hit here. You know, I've seen him on Clan Boss do a quad hit here. So yeah, can be a really strong champion. Razin, Starhide. Awesome champion. Fusible. If you get an increased defense buff on him before he hits, he is hitting like a freight train, this guy. He's got a full turn meter drop here as well. It's on a massive cooldown, and it hits hard. So beware of the cooldown, but can be pretty clutch for something like Spider. Drop defense and weaken single target. Good for bosses. Generally good. His speed lets him down. That's the only thing. But cool for Clan Boss comps. Cool for Spider. Cool for boss fights. Skull Lord Vardal. He's a bit like Prunder. Doesn't hit very hard. He's just an absolute meat shield of a champion. His passives are both wasted. Some people, to be fair, some people do a cheese Skull Sworn and Skull Lord to get through Faction Wars. So the mobs are all focused on his little Skull Sworn who keeps dying. He resurrects Skull Sworn, and then they keep killing him again, and then they kill him again, and it's like, kill my little friend while we slowly tickle you to death. So that's an option, certainly against the boss, because the boss is tough to beat. So yeah, that can be an option. But outside of that, he's basically used as an arena tank shield unit. Bergamkar, the sausage. Yummy. Was a fusion. He's just in need of a buff. Everyone thought he'd be the answer to Doom Tower, potentially. He's okay. He's got removes all provokes. So, you know, if you're getting provoked up, he can just clean that off. He's so situational. I wouldn't invest tons into him unless you're struggling for champs. He's immune to provoke himself. He can cleanse them off everyone else. He's also got remove one random buff from each enemy. Chance to remove two. So if you don't have someone like a Madame and you're up against people that constantly placing buffs, then he can do some work on that. If he also places decreased defense on for 2 turns for people that have got 2 buffs removed. So he can become your Madame, potentially. If there's more than one buff out there, he can strip a couple off and then replace it with decreased defense. But as I say, pretty situational. Krisk, absolute beast, one of the best in the game. Can play anywhere in the game. Absolute unit, defensive based, hits hard, provokes, drops speed, protects, increases your speed, drops defense. It's literally like, you name it. You name what you want him to do, and they're like, yeah, no, don't worry, we'll put that on the next move. And it's like, hold on a minute, do you want more? Yeah, don't worry, next move. And they're like, what? You want massive shields as well? Don't worry, coming right up. And we'll do that with a side of full team provoke. And if you just want a little helping for dessert of decreased speed, we'll throw that in as well. Crazy champ. Wish I had him. Part of world record teams for Clan Boss, and just absolute carry. Like, if you're struggling with any content in the game and you've got him, then you've built him wrong. Okay, moving on. Roman 2, the second group of mission reward. I don't think it's possible to have him yet, but looks sweet. Hard hitter. 4-hitter here on his A2. AoE smack on his A3. First person in the game to have block passive skills. And he's got block active skills. So they're basically like a dead duck at that point. But yeah, good champion. Okay, let's keep going. Still with me, guys? Skinwalkers. Not many here. Norog, underrated. AoE smack. High defense, high crit rate, high crit damage. This guy whacks hard. He also places block buffs, which is actually becoming more and more important as we grow into the game, because there's more and more waves that they set us up against that have got tons of buffs. Sifi waves, Duchess waves, you name it. Vault waves, Martyr waves. So in Faction Wars, he's great. Doom Tower, he's great. Defensive based as well, so easy to keep alive. Get some accuracy in his build. He's got a passive here as well. So he can't be stunned, can't be frozen, you can't put him to sleep. And if the rest of your team have buffs, he reduces their damage by 15%. Straight 15% mitigate of damage. It's like everyone's wearing stalwart gear. And if they've got no buffs, it's 25%. It's actually a massive ability here. Really good passive. I used to run him in a 1-key team in Clan Boss, and he was my stun tank. So the Clan Boss was trying to stun him. He was like that. I don't care. I'm still going. No cooldown on this. He just keeps taking it. Good champ. Longbeard, one of the best ally attackers in the game because he also pumps their damage by 20%. I'm at a kind of... I wonder really what's better. Like someone like a Cardiel who pumps crit rate and crit damage, or someone like a Longbeard who just straight up pumps damage. But yeah, very, very solid with this. Pretty hard hitter himself. He's got weaken as well. Decent in the Clan Boss setup. Great in the arena. Hakon Smash Lord. Full team cleanse. Going to help you against someone like an Agref. He's got a hit as well on his A3. Doesn't help you so much against an Agref. He's got some stunnage going on. Generally, you see him used against Spider or in the arena. And he's half decent in both areas. War Chief. Worse to face than to use. If you're up against him in Doom Tower, you're like, wow, who is this? This champion's amazing. And then you build one out yourself and you're like, where's that champion that I just saw that was absolutely crucifying my team? So it's all about this. Reflects 60% of the damage taken back to the attacker. So in the arena, this could be pretty deadly if like a Trunder tries to blow him up. He should just reflect a load of that damage. The trouble with him is his reflect... I think his reflect, something like the mechanic of it is it then goes up against the defense of the enemy, I think, so that it's almost like you're getting like a double defense proc. I think there's something weird going on, but you don't get the true benefit of the reflect. Saying that, he is good against Magma Dragon for provokes. Just provoking all day. If you haven't got someone that does that, he's going to do that for you really well. Brachus then. Brachus, hard hitter, single target damage dealer, good against Fire Knight and excellent in the arena. If he dies, he pops back up and then one-shots someone. So pretty cool for that. He's been in unkillable teams as well. They call it Phoenix team, where someone just constantly revives. He could be part of that mix. Coronar, good champion, drops defense, drops attack, provokes, drops turn meter. I'd say he's just a good champion. He's not amazing, but he can carry you through a lot of content. Okay, let's get onto the Orcs. What have we got? Grohack the Bloodied, just in need of a buff. He's got a bunch of turn meter stuff going on. Doesn't hit hard enough. Doesn't really have good enough base stats. He's just basically like an epic. He's an epic. Kreela, another great ally attacker. Why is she good as an ally attacker? Because she hits freaking hard as well. She hits really hard on her A2, really hard on her A3, pretty hard on her A1. She gives your team increased crit rate and increased attack. These two buffs are awesome before she goes and sets them up with an ally attack. Her best spot is actually Clan Boss versus someone like a Cardio or Longbeard, who I think are best in the arena. But for Clan Boss, I think she's your best one. Tila, she keeps getting buffed. It's still not really enough. She's got an HP burn. She's just an epic. Not good enough. Robart needs another 10 speed, please. Give this guy a chance. Smacks on his A3 if these debuffs are out. Drop defense on his A2. He's a good champion, but he's so damn slow. Yeah, too damn slow. Domlock. So some people are going to be getting him soon from Doom Tower. Drop defense and weaken. Great ability. Chance to steal buffs. Good ability. And a leech here as well. Also a passive. When there's 4 or more buffs placed on the enemy team, in a single turn, places a shield on himself, which is nice. He's going to be good. He's going to be a good champ. Hits hard as well. King Geralt looks sweet. Needs a damage buff. Everything in his kit is about doing damage, and yet he hits a bit like a noodle. So yeah, just needs a damage buff. Nodgar, the runt. Runt of the litter. He's the sort of dude, he's like, look how pumped I am. He's like taking pictures in the mirror at the gym. He's like, ooh. But then he stands next to King Karog and he's like, oh, maybe I should stop taking those pictures. Actually can hit kind of hard. He's got a very weird kit. Very weird kit. Pretty hard to utilize. So he's got like this kind of AoE. After attacking, this champion sacrifices HP equal to 50% of their max HP, then places heals on himself. So he's kind of like going after high HP champions. He's a bit of a funky one to use. I've not really played around with him that much, but I do see every now and again someone sends me a screenshot. It's like, look how hard he hits in a very situational setup, which is cool. Like, I mean, he's got a use case, I guess, but for me, he's a bit too funky. Iron Brago, great champion. Very unique passive. Increases the defense of all your team by 10%. Good for Clan Boss. He nukes as well. Dropping the bombs on his A1 and his A2 and his A3. All of his hits are big. He's also bringing a increased defense, which if you book it up, is just on all the time. He's like that. Anyone want some more defense, boys? Just always on. It's always up. He's also got a provoke on his A3 and decrease attack. Yeah, solid champion. Really like him. Defense in Doom Tower as well. Just brilliant champ. Warlord, probably the most annoying champion to face in the arena in the game. He's so annoying. His A3 just locks everybody out. Pretty much, if his A3 goes off against you and you're attacking, you're like that. Oh, well, this one's over. Or you're like that. I'm going to make a cup of tea, press auto, and hope that I've rotated my abilities back before he goes again. Because this is disgusting. This ability is absolutely brutal. His A2 is good as well. Block debuffs and shield. And he's got a decent A1 for something like Clan Boss. But pretty much his A3 is just out of this world disgusting. Angar, feel like he needs a bit of a buff. Does have a provoke, which is nice. So he provokes, and then he's got a chance to replace the provoke. His best spot for me is Magma Dragon. He can play in the arena, but for me, he just needs to hit a bit harder for an HP-based champion. More like a Sonic hit would be good. To really get, for a Void Legendary, I feel like he's just missing a bit. On to the bottom half. Demonspawn. We've got Kaimar. Woo! Kaimar. What a champion. Where do you want to use him? Like, honestly, I could have 5 Kaimars and probably find a use for all 5. And there's not many champions that you can say that. Speed teams in any form of dungeon content, top draw. Arena lead, top draw. Arena reset champion, top draw. Cleans off buffs in the arena as well. So you could probably build 2 in the arena, no sweat, and still need another one. You could build 2 for different types of dungeon teams and still need another one. He can play anywhere in the game. Awesome champion. The only thing to be aware of is he sends people to sleep and then he can wake people up. Yeah, he resets abilities. It's just so good. So damn good. But this A2 is becoming more and more relevant as we fight more and more groups of teams or arena teams with tons of buffs. So his A2 is just insanely good. Tyrant, cool champion, best HP burn champion in the game, I think. HP burn here, 3-turn cooldown, so cycles it back really quick. And then basically he throws it out there, he's burning everything up, and then he's like that. Right, now we wait. And he just throws out increased defense and ally protect, and everyone stays alive. Also decreases damage that's coming into you when burns are out there. And he's got a bit of a self-heal on his A1. Great champ. Countess Lix pairs well with Astralon. She is just a control freak. Dropping speed here, decreasing enemy turn meter, locking people out, weakening them as well. If she's with Astralon, she gets to do a bunch of funky stuff. Turn meter fill every time someone else is taking a debuff. She's really cool. Really, really cool champ. Drexar, free champion. From the bazaar, you have to buy the token every day. Don't save up and then buy them all at one go. It doesn't let you do it. I wish it did. It doesn't. What a champion he has become. Hard hit on his A2 and a provoke. Every time he takes a hit, he's getting burnt. His best spot is probably Agref, where at the start, the spiderlings hit you, they take a burn, and then from there on in, you're just like chill mode. You don't even need that great of stats. You just want accuracy on him. You want some speed, you want some defense, and let him go. Also good in other Doom Tower bosses. Great in Spider as well. Just, his value has just gone up and up and up since Doom Tower came out. Great champ. Kandrathon, pretty much an out-and-out arena nuker. Can use him in Doom Tower as your nuker as well because he can hide himself with a veil. Yeah, puts this kind of buff on, and then he gets let loose, and he hits hard. This A2 can smack. The only thing that lets him down, he smacks everyone in the arena. There's only one person left alive, and they've got a sliver of health. And he also gets an extra turn if he kills people with this one, yeah? And you're like, finish the job, Kandrathon. Go and kill that Sifi. And he goes, instead of just going in with the A1 and killing the Sifi, he's like, hold on, just trying to buff myself. Buffs himself, Sifi reses everyone up, and then before you know it, they're back in the fight. So if he just had a brain in that hard-hitting head, he would be top draw. He's also got a bit of a struggle that, you know, if he whacks a Rotus, instead of going again, Rotus says, no, I'm coming first, and then he'll probably come and kill you. But yeah, cool champion. Sakia Flametongue, so she is on a ×10 event on Sunday. This Sunday, if you're watching this, literally like the days that it's going live. Cool looking champion in the fastest Spider 25 teams that are out there right now. She throws out burns. She throws out drop defense and weaken if people are burnt. And then she ignites burns. It's cool. It does tons of damage against Spider and other content as well. Yeah, she's just straight up cool. Straight up Bernie. How you feeling? You're burnt. I don't know what I'm saying. She's cool. She's cool, champ. Mortu Macabre. Oh, I was doing a takeover last night for Doom Tower level 109. Facing two Mortu Macabres in the second wave. And he wrecked my team. He was an absolute nightmare to face. And you think to yourself, if he's doing that, why don't we build one out? Build like a war chief. Let's build one out and he will do work. But no, he doesn't seem to proc his peril when you use him yourself. His peril hits damn hard. It's the hardest hitting HP-based ability in the game. And it will just one-shot pretty much anyone because it ignores defense. It ignores shields, block damage, as well as defense. And it blocks revive. But it feels like it doesn't work when you're using him. I don't know. Maybe there's some people that get good use of him in the arena. I have faced him before, in fairness, in the arena. And he was hard to kill. And he was scary. As soon as you start hitting him and you've not killed him, it's scary to face a Mortu. But more often than not, it's just not proccing. And yeah. This is the boss, by the way, guys, of the final stage of Nightmare Campaign. He's the annoying one that just keeps killing your team and stopping you getting 3 stars. Lord Shazar, bit out of the meta right now. Fastest speed lead in the game for the arena. Throws out bombs. As I say, bomb meta's just kind of a bit dead right now. Dead duck. Might come back. But if it does come back, he's one of the best champions for it because he can just detonate after one turn all bombs. But yeah, bit out of the meta right now. Duchess, on the contrary to that, is 100% in the meta right now. Probably the best arena defense champion in the game. She brings a passive that just means you take less damage from AoEs. And you know what? Almost every champion that you face in the arena is trying to AoE you to death. She's also bringing Veils. She's bringing full team revives, shields. She's just super annoying to face in the arena. She's also just going to carry you anywhere, by the way. Especially good for Doom Tower as well. Crutraxa, fallen a bit out of the meta. I mean, I've seen some hard-hitting Crutraxas. I've seen someone with double Crutraxa that was just literally owning the game. But yeah, she's a bit out of the meta again. So she got a quad hit on her A1. She's got a nuke on her A2, extra turn as well. Comes back to that A1, quad hit. She's very, very strong for Finite. She's very strong in the arena. But because she doesn't do AoE stuff, and because people can just clean off her revive on death whenever they want, she lets herself down. If this couldn't be removed by like a Madame, then this would be a different champion altogether. This would be a scary champion. But at the moment, she's pretty much out of meta. Enifui, everything he does blocks revive. This is nice against Scarab Boss to drop max HP. He just doesn't really hit hard enough for me, but does have use cases. Some people use him in Ice Golem to block revive of the 2 adds. Some people use him in the arena to try and block revive. If his A2 does hit hard, his A3 hits okay. If his A3 hit hard, then he'd be used all the frickin' time. Okay, moving on then. What we got? Undead Hordes. There's a ton of these. Crypt King Graal finally got a use. Finally, people are using him against Spider 21 to 25, and he's decent for it. Throwing out freezes when someone else has got burns out there, extending the burns on a bit more. That's pretty much his best spot right now. Rotus was absolutely the king, the daddy, the 1v4 specialist in the arena. Now he's just good in the arena. He's still used like proper endgame arena teams, plat level teams. He's scary when he gets going, but he used to get going straight away. Now he has to steal a whole buttload of health to get going before he can block anyone's revive. And that's let him down. He can still one-shot somebody, get an extra turn, and then one-shot somebody else. It's still doable, but it's much harder to do than it was. Saito, big nuker, big AoE damage on his A3, I think it is. Good damage on his A2 as well. Decent decreased defense and a bit of damage on his A1. Good for Clan Boss as a decreased defense champion and just a steady, hard damage dealer throughout a fight. Good for the arena as well. LEGENDARIES. Badly need to buff this guy. Badly need to buff. Bit of buff removal. His only spot that I can see him being used right now is Iridoth the Dragon. I wouldn't build him out for that. I think you just get through it anyway. Need to buff. Startorsis, a bit old school. Kind of needs a buff as well. Does actually hit hard if you build him with attack. Does have some okay buffs. Does have a cleanse. So you can cleanse your team against someone like Agref, but then he goes on A1s and sets them all off again. So, yeah, I think he's a little bit too old school. Probably needs a bit of work. Does have a nice aura for dungeons. If you've got him in the mid-game, he's a great mid-game champion to just kind of take you through content. But after that, he does just feel like he just falls off. Bad L. Goes in waves, Bad L. Was the absolute best in the game. Came down, had less use. Then he became the soloist for Dragon, so he had a load of use again. Came down a bit. And then suddenly, like Dungeons 21 to 25, I see him a lot. Dragon, Ice Golem are probably his 2 best spots. He's also good for Spider to boost your damage up. Great passive on this guy. Great heals and poisons. Good in Clan Boss as well. Just generally strong champ. Blood Gorged. Hits pretty hard. Got a block revive. A single target. So you can ignore defense of one massive tank. Block their revive. kind of still need for them to not have shields and stuff, because he doesn't really hit hard enough to completely do the do. You need to make sure that shields are gone before this is going to hit, and it's only a single target effect. So, you know, if you block revive somebody and they've still got another hard hitter in the game, this guy's going down. He's too squishy. Does also now bring, though, since his buff, a chance to put everyone's skills on cooldown, and I think this is what he prioritizes on auto, I think. Okay, champion. Okay. The block revive can be good in certain team comps. Mashold, the Mr. Salad. Good champion. Great champion. Great champion. In some of the best clan bosses teams out there, certainly some unkillable ones where you want a bit of a speed boost. Very unique in that he does his speed boost on a 3-turn cooldown if booked, but then gets an extra turn. So it's the equivalent of a 2-turn cooldown. Also hits hard. Annoying to face in the arena. Great on your team in the arena. Great for your team for something like Doom Tower and Clan Boss. Nephril, one of the few that have got a strong chance to place a stun against the whole enemy team. Also can push turn meter back. Great for Spider. Great for Fire Knight as well with a triple hit here. Great for Doom Tower waves when you're trying to control those enemies. Pretty cool in Clan Boss as well to just pump out a ton of poison. Okay, Suzerain, fairly niche arena champion. Mainly because of this. He can remove buffs. So he's got here, remove shields, removes unkillable from all enemies, then attacks. This buff, the buff removal cannot be blocked or resisted. So it's kind of cool, but that's kind of his niche. That's all he's about, really. Harvest Jack. I mean, he's just, you know what? He is annoying to face. He's annoying to face. I used to run him in a defensive type arena comp. And he'd go out AoE. He's throwing out True Fears, which is the most annoying debuff to have on you because you're like, should I try my ability or not? If I try it and I fail and it gets locked out, that's it. It's done for no value. So it's really annoying to have it on you. It can also just rip buffs off of you. But I feel like the meta that would have someone like him in their team just doesn't exist right now. And he is pretty much, for me, an arena champ. You can use him as a bit of control in dungeons, but he doesn't hit very hard. So he just becomes a bit of an average control champion. Sifi, one of the best in the game. Great arena champion. Probably the best, not the best, like top 5 arena champion maybe. It's certainly in a defensive sort of style comp. She sets up a warlord to let him loose. She's got a bunch of buffs. She's got a really cool revive. And she's got the most frustrating A1 in the game. Like that. It's like a zap gun. It's like sleep, 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 sleep. Everyone's going to sleep. And she doesn't need accuracy to do it. So it's very, very broken. Netcrit becoming more and more an arena legend. When he first came out, I thought he might veer towards Clan Boss with some of his abilities. But the more people got their head around what he does, the more they just use him to protect a nuker in the arena, and it's really effective. So we're seeing a lot of high-end players using Netcrit as their arena protector because his passive places these debuffs on the person with the lowest max HP at the start of a round. So basically, you start your arena, whoever's got the lowest HP gets a bunch of crazy buffs, and it gives them really good protection. Eurost, some people are starting to get this guy now. He's looking pretty damn cool. I've not played with him myself yet. So this is a Doom Tower reward. Good champion. Shield here. You've got AoE here. Turn meter drop. Basically, he's got a passive that pushes out poisons. When attacked, has a chance to place a poison. And there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Reducing max HP. He's got strength for an ally protect. And he's got decreased speed. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, depending on how many poisons are on or how effective he gets. But looks like he's going to be very cool. Anyone who's throwing out tons of poison is going to do a lot of damage. Little Miss Annie, one of the coolest skins in the game. Lots of single target damage. Bam, bam, bam. Everyone's taking damage. She's ignoring defense. Cool in the arena. Actually seen her in some pretty high damage clan boss teams as well. And if she dies and gets revived, then she just goes and hits someone. She's like, I'm having a go. But yeah, pretty niche, I'd say. When she came out, people thought maybe she could be really cool for the arena. But I think with AoE hitters being really just the meta, she struggles. She gets a bit of a twitch when people decide they're going to put her in Fire Knight. She's actually pretty cool in Fire Knight. But yeah, outside of that, she lives in a lot of vaults, I think. Right, on to Dark Elves. 4 more to go. Ray. Ray is a solid champion. AoE smack that also freezes and removes all buffs. You like that? What else do you want it to do? Great move. She's also got one of the hardest hitting abilities in the game on her A2 if there's buffs out there, or debuffs out there. So if you've already dropped their defense and she does this, then she's going to smack. So she could be your nuker, she could be your control champion, and she can also be a cheeky little drop defense as well. Good speed in dungeons aura. Good champion. Lanarkis, so we've got another ally attack champion here. If you do increase attack with somebody else, like a Seeker or an Arbiter, then she will automatically do her ally attack. If you don't, she wants to buff instead. And if she buffs, there's a chance that she goes again and you do your ally attack. So in the right team setup, she can be a strong ally attack champion. In the wrong team setup, she can be annoying. But yeah, she's fast. She's one of the fastest, if not maybe the fastest ally attack champ, which means that she's easier to get going for that arena blender type comp. And that's probably her best spot. Foley, still one of the coolest looking skins, I think. He is cool for the arena. Outside of the arena, I just don't really feel like he's that good. But in the arena, he's great because of this AoE hit, block revive. This hits somebody twice. Whoever you choose, it hits twice. So you want to pick on the person that either is not likely to die or that you want wiped out. It might be their damage dealer, it might be their reviver, whoever it's going to be. Take care of the person that's going to be most annoying. He's got 2 4 hitters as well. So, somewhere like Fire Knight, if you want a load of hits, he can do the job. But he's, he can do the job. He can do the job. He's got quite low base HP. He's also annoying to face in the arena because if you try and freeze him or sleep him or stun him or whatever, he gets a turn meter boost and goes. He goes at you. But this is on a cooldown. If this didn't have a cooldown, I think he would be used in a lot more arena defenses because there's a lot of people out there now that are trying to freeze you, trying to sleep you and all that type of stuff, provoke you. But as soon as it's happened once, like if a Torment freeze comes in, it won't land the first time round, but it would land the second time round. Still though, great arena nuker. He's in like the second tier down of damage dealers for nukes from his A3, but because it blocks revive, he's still one of the best. Okay, Xavier. Xavier is cool. She's in my Dragon 25 team still. So she is one of the champions like a Seer that can nuke waves really effectively. Throw out a load of poisons. She then combusts them with this ability and you move on. She also poisons herself with her A2. She hits kind of hard. She's also usable as an AoE block revive in the arena. She does hit hard enough to do it. You don't even need the poisons out there. You just need her to be like ramped with crit rate, crit damage, and attack. And she's good for that. But it's more, I guess, she doesn't bring any more utility than that. So if it doesn't work the first time round, you're a bit like a goose waiting to be cooked. Vizier. Vizier is the best debuff extender in the game. So it can be used against Clan Boss to just ramp up debuffs time and time again. Very cool for that. Has also got a block buff, decreased attack, heal reduction, and then a debuff spread. So this is okay as an ability. This is very cool as an ability. If you're trying to do Spider and you don't have an HP burn strat, you can literally get a single target HP burn out there, and then he can spread it. So that will make it easy for you to do some work. I think he also hits hard, by the way. People don't realize it. He can hit pretty damn hard with his abilities, but I wouldn't build him for that. I'd just build him for accuracy, survivability, and then get those debuffs pounding up, mainly for Clan Boss. Astrolith became a meme video that I did, which actually turned out to be really good. She's got bombs that cannot be resisted, so you don't need accuracy to land them. And if you just build a full attack, full speed, For bombs, you don't need crit rate. You don't need crit damage. You just need as much attack as you can get. So you go attack and speed, place a bomb, and that bomb will blow up anybody. Absolutely anybody. So if you can put the bomb out there and then someone else debuff spread it, then before you know it, everyone's just blowing up. It's kind of fun. Queen Eva just straight up needs a buff. She can be a campaign farmer. Outside of that, I don't like. She's worse than most epics now. Just weak. Ghostborn, I think, is the only champion in the game that's got an AoE decreased defense that can't be resisted. So you don't need accuracy to land this, and it doesn't have that 3% chance that it won't land. So this is very cool, actually. Also puts increased attack on your team as well at the same time. The shame with his kit is that his other two abilities do need accuracy to land. So you make a choice. Are you playing all in for the A3, or are you also going to use him for his A1 and A2 as well? He hits okay damage with his A1 and A2, but he's pretty much there just to set up other damage dealers with his A3. Ruel, recent fusion or current fusion. I've still got him waiting to go, waiting to be bought out in the next champion chase. I think, and there's kind of different views on this, I think he's just great to set up Thea. So he throws out hexes. Thea then goes next, blows people up, and they're all dead. He can blow people up himself, but he needs 2 turns to do it. So he does this one, gets another 50% turn meter. To get to the next 100% is actually very difficult before everyone else goes. If he does do that, then he'll blow people up with his A2. He's going to hit hard. He's a good champion, but needs a lot of setup to play with well. Blind Seer, pretty underrated, I'd say. Triple hit here with turn meter drop. Shields and block buffs on her A2. Full team revive on her A3. Great support champion. Will keep your team alive. Keep your team moving. Lydia, you can only get her through Faction Wars. She is worth investing in Faction Wars for. I really, really love Lydia. AoE drop defense and weaken and strengthen and speed. Like, damn, this move is so sweet. She also locks people out with her A3, which is cool. So for someone like Doom Tower, if you're struggling against a particular champion in a wave, you can just be like, right, you're not going to use your abilities this turn, friend. Other than that, she's got this annoying mechanic when you're against her that she's going to block your attempts to revive and revive her team instead. So that's kind of cool. Great base stats. Really good champion without being totally busted. Very cool to pair alongside Seer. Visix got the recent buff. Login champion that you would get over time. It's like over half a year or something. Since the buff, actually good. Actually good. AoE ability here, which is nice with drop speed. AoE ability here with a provoke. Bit of turn meter control here. She's not top draw. She's not like one of the best void legendaries out there, but she is solid. Okay, moving on. Night Revs. Night Revs. Nama. For me, straight up clan boss champion or maybe a dragon champ. Pretty good. She's got decreased attack. She's got poisons and poison sensitivity. I feel like this should come down one more turn to a 3-turn cooldown to make her super relevant, because there's a lot of champions that bring this and better. Okay, Bistophus, just straight up need to buff this guy. One of the most disappointing champions. He's got this huge base attack. He hits decently hard, but I just feel like he needs a buff. Doesn't have a 100% chance to drop defense. Does have block active steals here, which is cool. Can nuke here if block active steals is out there, but there's only like 2 champions in the game that can actually do this on an AoE. So needs a lot of setup, and it's just too damn squishy. Like, he doesn't have enough time to do the setup because he's so squishy. Thea, so she's the first reward from Doom Tower. There's not enough champions in the game right now that place Hex, and she needs Hex out there to do serious damage. If Hex is out there, she smacks. So, Ruel going before her, she will smack any wave down to dust. She's the second best champion at wave destruction behind Seer. So, but it's, again, very situational. You have to have Hex out there. Tomb Lord, a bit underrated. Got a decreased attack and defense, and a turn meter drop here. Got a multi-poison ability here. Got a decreased speed here. Can solo Dragon 25 nowadays, which is kind of nuts. But I just wish they would remove one cooldown from this A3. If they did that, he would be played a ton more. Good champion, but overshadowed, I'd say, by a lot of epics that do this type of ability on like a 3-turn cooldown instead of a 5. Solus, recently buffed. Now, he's a hard hitter, hard-hitting defense-based champion on this A3. I think it's the hardest hitting defense-based move in the game. Got provokes as well. Got stuns. Good defensive units. Great as a defensive arena champion. Hedgie, one of a kind, locks out the enemies, always goes first, locks out the enemies' abilities with his A2. You see him in a ton of arena champion team, a ton of arena teams. He's just annoying to face. Never fight a Hedgie unless you're wearing immunity gear or unless you've got a cleanser on your team. Whirlum, recently buffed. I feel like he's still not strong enough. I have seen him in some crazy clan boss teams, to be fair, like over 100 million one-key Ultra Nightmare teams. So that can happen. He's got an AoE here, which hits okay. He's got good buffs here on a 3-turn cooldown. But it's just a bit lackluster, really. Okay, let's move on. Dwarves. 2 to go. Not many here. Oh, Shadowkin, I'm in the wrong one. Dwarves. Try that again. There she is. Trunda. There she is. Flexing on us. Flex from that side. Flex, flex, flex. Trunda, yeah, I mean, she's just the most busted arena champion in the game. She hits tons harder than everyone else, which makes her totally broken. Massive hit on her on her A2. Massive hit on her A3, as long as you don't build any accuracy into a kit. If you then want to play around with her outside of the arena, she could be your HP burn strat champion as well. She's just bonkers. Just bonkers. Absolute. Brings the slams. Underpriest. Love this champion. Recent addition to the game. Fusible champion. What a good champion he is. He's bringing you shields. He's bringing you AoE hit here. Removing buffs from enemies. He's bringing HP burn chance. And then he tops up shields and reflects damage. And he's actually got this thing at the moment. I don't know if it's going to stay in the game, but if you put Giant Slayer on him as his mastery on Clan Boss, every time people are reflecting damage, you've got a chance of Giant Slayer proc. So if Clan Boss hits your whole team with shields on, you've got 5 chances of a Giant Slayer proc, which is nuts. I don't know if they're going to hotfix that, patch it, or whatever, but as it is right now, that's broken. And you're seeing him in new world record teams for Clan Boss because of this. Mountain King. This is someone I'd still love to get. King of the single target slams. Smack. Bang. Wallop. He ignores defense with this one as well, or ignores some defense with this one. Just straight up slaps people. Yeah, cool champion. Every time he kills someone as well, he starts to stack up more attack, which helps him hit even harder. So the longer you fight him, the worse he gets. Highest base HP in the game, I think. You can push him up to tons of HP. Becomes very hard to kill. Morley, probably the best answer to an anti-Hedgie in the game. So if you build her and the rest of the team in immunity gear, she takes a hit. She buffs everyone's turn meter so that when you then get to actually have your teams go, you've sped ahead of the enemy team. It's very cool, actually. Also got provokes here, which is nice. Also got a revive with a block damage on it. For me, she's an out-and-out arena champion. Huge base speed, good base stats, cool arena champion. Outside of the arena, she can still play. She doesn't hit hard at all. So outside of the arena, you're just using her really for this passive and for her provokes. Samar Gem Cursed, I feel like he badly needs a buff. Just doesn't really hit very hard. It's got a passive that's annoying to face in the arena, but not that hard to deal with. He's pretty much just an annoying arena defensive champion that extends the length of the fight rather than makes it dangerous. Tormin, Also an annoying arena champion, but in a different way. He will just freeze you up with his passive all day long. Very, very annoying to face. Also hits hard. Hits hard with his A2. Hits hard with his A3 if you build him with some crit and stuff. You could build him in so many different ways. You could go stun set Torment and be really annoying. You could go high accuracy Torment and be really annoying. You could go secret threat, high damage Torment. You could go high resistance. Like, whatever you want, he's still going to do a ton of work. Okay, last one. Last faction then, Shadowkin. Only 4 here. Jintoro. Highest hitting ability in the game, but it only happens once in a blue moon. He is cool though, does drop defense, does weaken, cool against clan boss, fun champ. Yoshi the Drunkard does bring a nice increased attack and increased accuracy ability here. So this is cool in the arena. Outside of the arena, I don't really see him used, but this is good to set up your damage and set up your debuffers. So if you can imagine someone like an Astrolon, needs accuracy, needs attack. You throw Yoshi in front of him, and it's like that. Don't worry, friend. I'm giving you everything you need, which is pretty cool. Also got a nice speed aura as well. Genzin, nice drop defense ability. Hits hard. Fun champ. Did a guide on him recently. But nothing special, I would say. Just a fun, cool champion. Raiho, Bone Spear, Void, Legendary. Tons of debuffs here. Full cleanse, remove all debuffs from all allies, then puts block debuffs out there. This is a great move in any champion. Free turn cooldown as well, and a heal. Really like this. We've got passive as well. So when receiving any debuffs, instantly transfers them from this champion to the attacker. So if you've got someone like a Hedgie coming at you, instead of Hedgie locking you out, you lock yourself out, which is kind of fun as well. So yeah, so I guess I've not played with her enough myself to really know how effective she's going to be, but certainly looks like she's got some fun stuff she could be doing in the arena, and also in Clan Boss she could do a bit of work as well. Woo! There we go, guys. All legendaries rated. Let me know your thoughts. Which ones have I got wrong? Which ones do I underrate? I'm sure there's plenty. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.